Okay. All right. Hello. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me well? Can you see me well? How? Oh, look at my hair. I didn't fix my hair. I'm just not caring anymore. I'm having a breakdown, and my other son is having a breakdown. But this son is here. So we got both sons here, and we've got me. Thank you everybody for coming. It's Sunday. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Hey Lewis. Hello Joe. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Hello. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Okay, I look amazing. Can you hear me? Can you see me? Okay, maybe you can't hear me. So if you can't hear me, then we can't start the show. Simple as that. Can you hear me? Can you see me?
It's working, it's fine.
Is it? Well, that's one person. How come they haven't said anything to me?
Because you ask every single time, so they don't think that you need a
Yes to both. Okay, thank you very much. And MC Scott says yes to both. Okay, that's fine. So now we can start the show. I'm totally unprepared. I have no idea what happened today. I went out for a walk. I went and laid down for a little bit. I've done nothing. Does anybody know what's going on? I'm going to check. I'm going to check right now to see if I'll go to the Daily Mail because it's free. Even though I get the New York Times. Do we get the New York Times? Not that you care about the New York Times, but we'll have to check the New York Times. Oh, I'm in a very grumpy mood. Very grumpy mood. There we go. There we go. Nothing. Nothing. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to start talking. Hello, Claire from Mars. Hello, Claire. Mortiz. Phil is here. MC Scott is here. Joe is here. Gnome Hunter is here. That's it. That's our entire show. It's Sunday. I never feel good on a Sunday. I never feel good. It's 5 o'clock and it's dark. But there's nothing we can do about that. It gets dark in the wintertime. And then my son came in and he was like in too good a mood. And I don't like people who are in too good a moods. Basically, because my mother was manic depressive, and that's a very bad sign, a too good a mood. I'm not saying this son is, but I'm saying when somebody is in a good mood, I think something bad is going to happen. Anybody who's lived through bipolar disorder or manic depression or whatever new name they come with now to make it sound like it's better than it is, it's vacillating over time, not instantly, between being in a really good mood and being in a bad mood, thinking you can solve the world's problems and then conversely thinking you're a worthless piece of whatever. And so I'm always suspect of that. So he's in a good mood. I don't know why he's in a good mood. Did we find out why he's in a good mood, producer? No, we didn't find out, which makes it even scarier. Why is he in such a good mood? I prefer when he's in a grumpy mood. Is he more often grumpy than not, would you say?
You're not talking about Carnegie to like random fucking people. You should not do that.
I shouldn't do that.
No.
He's my son.
So?
Well, they have sons too, and they've got sons and they're concerned.
Stop talking to me.
I don't stop talking to you. Maybe that's what you want me to say. Oh my God, they're both horrible children. They're both horrible. I'm horrible too. I'm a horrible, horrible parent. It's always something. Yesterday, was something also bad happened, and today is something bad. Everybody, make sure we go to Lewis Schaffer to go onto Twitter. Make sure who is not signed on to Twitter. Let's all sign on to Twitter, okay? And Maltese Phil has been out in the sun today, still shorts and t-shirt weather. What is the weather in Malta? Let's find out what it is. I've got an app. I've got an app to find out what it is. To find out what it is. We're going to find out right now. In the Met Office. Why does the Met Office provide? Met Office, Malta. We'll look at Valletta, Malta with it. Malta. It was 22 degrees today. It's right now. It's 7 o'clock at night. 22 degrees. Tomorrow is going to be 23 degrees. Then 24 degrees. So a big round of applause for the weather in Malta. Anyway. So we've got that. We have Sunday. We have the Sunday news. I mean, I'm more concerned about the president of the United States because we need the president. But also, I don't think the president, he's one of these guys, he wants to make money. He wants to be a success. He wants to sell something. He wants to do what he wants to do, which makes him a great president, but possibly, but also makes him someone who's so reckless he can destroy the Rose Garden. I mean, you shouldn't be able to just destroy the Rose Garden like that. It was so hot in Athens today that all the beaches along Cape Saunian are full to the brim. Where is Cape? Well, let's look this up too. We got viewers everywhere. So let's find out what the weather is like in Athens. Athens, Greece. It might have been hot today, but it wasn't super hot. Tomorrow is going to be 20 degrees. And the day after that, it's going to be 20 degrees. So how warm was it today? How warm was Athens today? That's not the right place to ask. So how warm was it? How warm was it? So Mormelian is here. Maltese Phil's 4 pounds a pint in the capital city of Valletta. 4 pounds, 4 euros a pint. So is that less than a pound? I always get that wrong. Is it less than a pound or is it more than a pound? I mean, I'm going to start doing these shows in my bedroom. 20 odd degrees, but up to 20 under the sun, from what I was told, says Gnome Hunter. I like we say it's 20 odd degrees. What about the even degrees? I've been doing this for 158 days, odd days. Well, what about the even days? That's saying 20 odd days. But what about the even days? What about day 2, day 4, day 6? Those are the even. Those are the even days. What have you heard? Tell me what news is out there, people. This is the least prepared show that I've ever done. I mean, like totally unprepared show. Totally unprepared. Totally unprepared. I don't even know why I know why I look at the Daily Mail, because it's lots of words that are written. Okay? Lots of words, but I mean less and less these are like really important stories. I mean there's only one migration home fury. Crowborough, that's down over here. Public meeting where local politicians were shouted at and chased out of the community center hall on Thursday night, where they chased out of the hall. Around 2,000 people are understood to have joined the march today. in Crowborough. I mean, yeah, I think I did a gig in Crowborough. Basically, I did a gig. Donald Trump is going to call Starmer about £1 billion BBC standoff. You know, I mean, we should be suing. You should be suing the BBC because they lied to you. Because when they make it seem like Donald Trump is a radical revolutionary, it undercuts the position of the right in this country. It's a leftist position, it's a globalist position, and your state media should not be doing that to you. But there shouldn't be a state media. It's not even a government media. It's a state media. It's like these people believe so much that even if they change the government, they're not going to change anything. That's why this is what's happened with the BBC is so bad. Is so bad. Okay, Girl from Mars wants to go into the bedroom with Lewis Schaffer. There we go. Now we're talking. We're going to make me happy about this. I'll take more Melly into the bedroom too. I think I should go to the bedroom because I've got my the producer here, and he's not interested in this show. He's not listening to me, and it's really annoying. It's really annoying. It's so annoying. But why is this so bad? What the BBC did? Is it just one thing that they did? No, they're rotten to the core. They're absolutely. I know you don't want to believe that. When you wake up and like that song, when the truth is found to be lies. Nobody wants to believe that their state broadcast they grew up believing to be true is not is lying. It's similar to me, and I've said this before. You've heard me say it. It's similar to me in the New York Times. The New York Times. And I grew up loving the New York Times. I read the New York Times every single day for 40 or more years, maybe 50 years, 40 years, every single day. And it just struck me as true. And then over time, I thought, not over time, it was Donald Trump who called the New York Times fake news. And I went, no, not the New York Times. The New York Times, no, but he was right. He was right. It is fake news. But imagine if the New York Times was being paid by the U.S. government. I think it was being paid by the U.S. government. There you go. So it is being paid. And the fact is, the BBC is, maybe they're not getting money from the British government, which I don't think is. I think they are getting money from the British government. Let's find that. Let's see if that's true. Let's see if is that true. Let's see, is that true? Is or does the BBC get government funding? Let's see what it says. No, the BBC is not primarily funded. It's a lie. Well, what does that mean, primarily? It means it does get funding, but it's clearly funded by the license fee, a tax paid by the government does provide some direct funding. So why do they say no? And can you see the no there, everybody? Are you seeing the no? This show is going to turn into something good because right now I'm in such a foul mood. I'm going to smack myself, and something happy is going to happen. The government does provide some direct funding, most notably for the BBC World Service. Why are we providing money for the World Service? Why are we giving people in horrible, horrible countries money to say bad things about us, about you, not even about me, about you? And free licenses, it gives money for free licenses over 75, though the BBC is now responsible for the majority of the free licenses. The government sets the amount of the license fee, which is a key part of the BBC's funding model and charter. So, in other words, they get money. How much money? How much money do they get? It doesn't say. I'm going to say, how much money? Does anybody know? I can't see anybody. I'm just looking at the screen right here, so I don't know what you're saying. How much money does the British government government give the BBC? Okay, let's see what it says. How much money? Okay, from the commercial. Well, 3.66 million from the license fee. I'm trying to see how much money actually goes from the government. The government provides separate grant for the BBC World Service, which is 104 million pounds. Okay, other income. 32% of the BBC's income comes from commercial activities, such as royalties and rental income. But that's not answering the question. And what happened during COVID? How about if I write down during COVID? Because they handed out money like crazy during COVID. How much money? The British government did not provide direct cash grants during the COVID. Direct. What does that mean? I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that means. As you can see, there's a problem somewhere. I don't know whether you agree with me whether there's a problem. Sky News did it to Tommy. He did his only interview with Jason Farrell. It was a half hour long. He filmed it. And when they showed it, it was 7 minutes edited Tommy, stitching stuff together. Yes. Yeah, that's why you've got to videotape everything. And we've got to embarrass these people. You know, I mean, Sky News. What's the difference between Sky News and the BBC? I like the BBC World Service. I could watch the BBC programs in Athens last week, soft power tool and whatnot. No, it is not a soft power tool. It's basically strengthening Britain's enemies. It's not making Britain be strong. And it's not owned by Britain. It's owned by the globalists. Tommy successfully sued Jason Farrell to add to my last comment. Okay, so he sued him. That's good. Find yourself Yoko Ono to sit in bed and do a John Lennon protest against carbs with a lion. Yeah, I could use it. I mean, Yoko was actually quite a pretty girl, a very, very pretty girl. I'm not a big Yoko fan, but John Lennon liked. Supposedly they were breaking up. They were breaking up when he was shot. So who knows what the story was between the two of them? You know, I mean, I like John Lennon. The BBC. There's something wrong with the BBC. I don't know whether you agree. I've been told the reason why I'm not super successful is because there are very few people who share the crazy thoughts that I believe. Maybe that's true. I don't know. I don't even know if that's true. Yeah, I'll do it in my luxury sleeping suite or bedroom, as I call it. Could do it there in my room, even though I'd like to do it here. I never even sit here. Because I do barely any work whatsoever, barely any work. So that's the BBC. So what do you think is going to happen when Trump calls Starmer? You know, what is he going to say to Starmer? What is Starmer going to say to him? He's going to say to Starmer, "You can't do this. I want some money. I want some money." But if he gets some money, what about us? What about you people who are paying 175? How much is the license fee? Let's check out how much the license fee. How much is the BBC license fee? It's 174 pounds a month. But they still have the black and white thing. They still have that. That's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. You know, it's 174 pounds. That's how much money you're paying to watch what? To watch the garbage. I don't even know if it's garbage. It's probably some. You know, when you spend $3.66 billion on stuff, some of it is going to be worth watching. But there's so much stuff on YouTube that's worth watching. There's so much stuff. You were the first one to say many things before the rest catch up, Lewis. We are still waiting on some things, though. Well, what do you want to hear? What do you want to hear? I'm waiting to hear them too. I'm waiting to be told that I am okay physically. I'm not sure that I am. I'm not sure that I'm doing all right. I'd like to know. I don't know what's on the inside. Blind people get a discount. Remember. Yeah, well, they're only. Yeah, I guess that is true. Is that true that blind people get a discount? Says MC Scott. Um, yeah, the BBC. The BBC. The thing is, when you find out how long it's been going on, how long we've been lied to by these people who were in favor of castrating our children. That's what the trans movement is. That they're in favor of rampant, of just people not having children, of people not supporting America. Look at all the lies that they said about, make it seem like, oh, we don't like Donald Trump. It makes people not like America, and America's a good friend to Britain. America's not trying to, I mean, maybe some Americans are. It's a big country. It's 5 times the size of Britain. But they're trying to pollute the relationship with America. So people go, oh, we don't want to be like America. We don't want to be like Donald Trump. It makes it harder for the nationalistic, patriotic agenda, family-oriented agenda of the people of this country. That's number one. So, I mean, I'm not telling you what you should do. I mean, I'm not a citizen of this country. So I'm not telling you. Avocado Man is here. Hello there, Avocado Man. I didn't see you come in. Where is Avocado Man? I don't see his name listed here. Keith Bexley is here. I did read what he said. Yeah, there you go. I'm trying to be the first. I don't want to be lied to anymore. And I felt I was lied to. Hello, Avocado Man. Avocado. That's a fruit. Avocado. Why are you called Avocado Man? Why avocado? I don't want to be lied to anymore. And the BBC is part of the lying leftist regime. They're just liars. The left lie. They lie. I was watching another video that spoke about all the horrible things that the right were doing. Mostly January 6th, which was, I mean, horrible. I saw that. That was horrible. But there were 300 FBI agents in the crowd pushing things. I visited New York, and the people there were very friendly to me as a Brit. Yeah, Americans like British people. I married a British person. I didn't know any better. If I'd known now what I know then, I would have been living in New York and never had my 2 beautiful children. We are lied to about almost everyone, Lewis. And yes, we are. We're lied to. So that's why we've got to be totally on guard and just say, you know what, you're lying. You're lying to us. And, people have got all these people who are supporting the BBC. Because that's what team that they're on. We support the BBC globalist team. When I was in New York, it was like, oh, the BBC, amazing. Ab Fab, amazing. The Prisoner, amazing. All the great programs. And then they had the artistic programs, which were put under Masterpiece Theater. Trucker from Reno is here. Hello, Trucker from Reno. Uh-oh, you know what's happened. I didn't press press live chat. That's why. There you go. The left have a very bleak future. Well, they're going to make our future bleak. Well, then they're going to, you know what I mean? Yeah, they have a very bleak future. When you sit there and you castrate children and you prevent other children from having other children, you're going to have a bleak future, I would say. Do you agree with me? What, agree with me? You were the one who said it, Trucker. Bonnie Blue supports the BBC. Why? Why would she support the BBC? They're still angry at the Boston Tea Party. What? Who's angry? They're angry at the British for taxing our taxing stuff. You know what? Why? Who's angry there? Avocado Man. There you go. Same bum. I love when you say that. Same bums and broads. Yes, that's what makes this stream so good. It's the same bums and broads. Trucker from Risk. A few new ones, and some leave, and then some come back. As I've said before, I was polite in New York, and yet they were rude to me. Were they rude to you? It was probably a perception of rudeness. You know, New Yorkers, they seem like they're rude. What does that mean? They're rude. I don't know what that means. They're in your face. Well, that's old New Yorkers. There are lots of new New Yorkers who have come to New York recently, and then they vote for that horrible mayor. And same thing in America. It's a basic division. It's between the left and the right, between the globalists and the nationalists. The globalists and the nationalists. I think that's the easiest way, between the people who are fighting for Britain and our homes and our families, and to keep things the way they used to be as best as can be, or have radical, incredible change that's going too fast for everybody. My English accent went down in New York. Some restaurant owners wanted big tips, though. Yeah, that's what they do. Not the owners. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Not the owners, because the waiters get the tips. The waiters get the tip. Team Nationalist, says Claire. Yeah. Yeah. So Avocado says that's this tipping culture, which got like extreme. I mean, there was big tips when I was in New York, but 15% is not quite as bad as 20%. I mean, and then we were told by English people, oh, we don't tip in England, but you do tip. You do tip when you go out to a restaurant. You do tip. That's come here too. I mean, it's the history of tipping in restaurants. I actually read an article about it. They said back in the day, the waiters were acting independently. They weren't employed by the restaurant. So they would go to a table and say, you know, what would you like? And they acted in between the customer and the restaurant. I mean, did you know that? I'm not sure that you knew that, really. Do you know that? I rarely tip if there's a big service charge. Of course not. Well, a service charge is the tip. It's a bit scammy, but I mean, it is the way it is. An American asks me for a tip. Okay. What I want a tip. So you said you always spell color with a U in it. Possibly. Many years ago, says that's what Trucker from Reno, who's in Thailand right now. Lewis, many years ago, I went to Oregon and California 3 times to see family. The people were so polite. Maybe a West Coast thing. No, they're polite in most of the countries. In the South, the people are polite. You could say they're even polite in New York. There's a different level of what is politeness necessarily a good thing? I mean, if it's just so normal, it's not that good. You want someone who actually just likes you. Here's a tip: tattooed lady in the 3.3 in the 330 at Cheapsto. Oh, this is the race. A race. Is that a race? Put it on each bet. A tip. Here's a tip. Okay, these are the English tipping jokes. I'm waiting for a lady boy to come around. That might be true. I'm not going to check to see if that's true. I don't know. I mean, they have lady boys. I used to have to go to Thailand for that, but now you can go anywhere. You can go anywhere. And because they were small. I mean, I don't even think they didn't even need the chemicals. I'm proud. I'm a proud nationalist. Hopefully, I can be honorary British one day. Laugh out loud. Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, let's fight. Let's fight for England and Britain and Scotland and Wales, the Angles, the Saxons, the Jutes, the Cornish, the Celts, the Irish, the Northern Irish, the Picts, the Scots. Let's fight the Cumbrians, the Lancastrians. I can't go to New York as I'm listening to locals shouting nonsense makes me feel like I'm still in Liverpool. Well, that's what they say. They say that people in Liverpool are very similar to New Yorkers. Have you heard that? Have you heard that said? Have you heard that said? And Liverpool looks a lot like New York. At least certain places that I was in, they looked a lot like New York. In the Deep South, they have complex family values. Well, I think there's complex family values everywhere, not just the South. But that's interesting that you mentioned that. That you mentioned that. So don't tip if there's a big service charge. You do not tip if there's. I've lost my place in the reading of this thing. What do you think about Sundays? Am I the only one who gets like really, really depressed on a Sunday? Am I the only one? I wish it was a bit warmer. I could go out and go for a walk. I went out for a walk before. I don't know how many steps I've taken, but I think I'm going to guess 3,800. Yes, 3,700. There you go. Can you see that? 3,700. Reverse cowgirl is illegal in the South because you never turn your back on your family. Okay, I think I know what that is. I've heard that, Dame Claire says. I love Leanne's Scouse accent. I don't know if does she have a Scouse accent? I think she comes from near there, like the Chestery area, but it's not quite. The Scouse accent sounds like it's not even Irish. Basically, it's just a yeah. So that's that. So do you like Sundays? Maybe we should talk about that. Do you like Sundays? I don't like it. Today it's been rainy in New York. It's not like it is in Malta. It's not in New York. I call this place New York. In London, it's overcast and slightly drizzly and not quite as drizzly. I don't even know if it is drizzly anymore. But you just think to yourself, well, why am I living? This is what I'm thinking. I like Sundays. I always feel chilled out as it is my day off. Yeah. Yeah, you've got a day off. It's good to have a day off. I mean, I don't have a day off from this thing, but maybe I should. Maybe I should have a day. I should have a day off, basically. Bob Geldorf loves Sundays. Well, he didn't hate it as much as he hated Mondays. That's a great song. It's a song about like a mass murder. New York skyscrapers copied the Liver buildings, and New York Central Park was copied from Birkenhead Park. I've never heard Birkenhead Park. I've never heard of Birkenhead Park. But whatever they did in Central Park, they did a good job of it. I treat Sundays, this is what Joe says, as don't beat yourself up and plan to start all over again. Hopefully achieve something. Haha. Yes, Joe, but you're trying to achieve something. I'm just trying to get through the day. I'm just trying to keep busy, keep occupied. And I need to achieve something. But the problem is when you try to achieve something, nothing ever gets achieved. Nothing ever gets. But you got to laugh at it. Keith, who were you laughing at? Keith Bexley. Justin Poppet. Justin Poppet. Justin Poppet. Am I saying your name right? Justin Poppet. Sunday, the Sabbath. I'm old enough to remember when shops were closed on Sunday, and it is now just another day. That's a non-story. Yes, just another day. It's just another day. I mean, should we tell shops not to be open on a Sunday? I'm a libertarian, and I don't think we should. I'm a libertarian, but maybe we shouldn't tell shops to be open. What do you think about that, Justin? Do you think that the state, that the government, that the state should force businesses to close on a Sunday? What do you think about that? Do you think that? Yes, you should. Yes, you should. Trucker from Reno, I love a cold, rainy day in England. Count your blessings. Oh, you'd love one. Yeah, because you're in Thailand. Does it ever get cold and rainy there? Does it ever rain an entire day there? Or a couple of days there? Is there a rainy season where you are in Thailand? There must be a rainy season. Supermarkets here are open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Sundays. That's all day. That's all day. Here in this country, they're open from 10 to 5, I think. 10 to 5. Birkenhead Park was the world's free public park. They came from New York to see it and copied it. Birkenhead Park. It's not that I don't believe you, but I haven't heard of that, and I'd like to check it out. My father used to tell me something. Birkenhead Park. Central Park model. (1847), yeah, so it was open about 12 years. Why is Central Park based on Birkenhead Park in Wirral? Okay, spanning 80, yes, that's yes. Without Birkenhead Park, there would be no Central Park. It was the first publicly funded park in the world. Before that, maybe there were private parks. The commission officially sanctioned the project, and it was from the world, so it wasn't in Liverpool. It was across the way. And so it opened. Joseph Paxton, Birkenhead, Joseph Paxton. He was later visionary behind Crystal Palace, which is it's not where the team plays, but it's a park. It used to be where the team plays. And many different times to Shro. 1844. Central Park. Greatest park in the world. Well, it's saying it was the first one, so a round of applause for Birkenhead Park. Can I just say thank you very much? Thank you very much for that information. Thank you very much for that information. The last thing I describe you as a libertarian. You don't think I'm a libertarian? I think people who live in a country should be able to do what they want to do. I don't, actually. I'm not a complete libertarian. I used to be more of a libertarian. I voted libertarian, but I'm not a libertarian as much as I used to be. I believe in green belts. I believe you shouldn't be allowed to build in on green spaces. You shouldn't cut down trees. The rain is very heavy here. There are regular floods. But how often does it rain, trucker from Reno? How often does it rain in Thailand? Does it rain all day long? Or like here in London, it's just like a little bit of rain, then it stops a little bit? Old school, we need to go back a few decades. No mobile phones, just a pager and an answer phone in a home office. We can't go back like that. But we can't go back like that. Actually, I'm making a sitcom about a group of deaf friends who live together in New York. It's called Seinfeld. Okay, that's a good joke. Not working Sundays. Try telling that to the staff when you go out for a meal or a drink on a Sunday. Exactly. People, they want to do things. They don't want to be home. They don't have any families to go home to. There are no families anymore. So they want to go out. Lewis, in Portsmouth, there was a 24-hour service, even on a Sunday. Not a euphemism. That's not the right word. But I know what you mean. New York was Dutch. The British bought New York. Yes, they did. It was Dutch. It was Dutch. What is that in reference to, that it was Dutch? Yeah, it was Dutch. It was Dutch. My ex-girlfriend, according to Russ, was a more morbidly obese. She was from Thailand, but looking at her, you'd have thought she was from Pyland, not Thailand. Pyland. Okay, that's moderately funny. I would never be so rude as to call him a libertarian. I always thought of Lewis as more of a dictator. Well, I mean, if you have a choice, would you want to be a dictator? You know, of course we all want to be dictator if we were totally in control. Warmellian, don't you want to be a dictator? Sir Isaac Newton was really into fat women. The greater the mass, the greater the attraction. Maltese Phil, that's like a Russ joke. Very good, Maltese Phil. Isaac Newton. Lewis, you'll be on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and the last question will be about Birkenhead Park, and you'll think of that clown. No, not being a clown by saying that, but I think that's amazing. I didn't know that. I mean, Central Park has so many unique features, and when it was built, for them to give that much land in the center of a city, and some people were living in the area. It wasn't like all woods up there, but it was quite brave of them to do. I don't know where they got the money to buy the land. The British had a bigger impact on the United States than the Dutch. Yes, on the United States, but New York City was founded by Dutch people. Of Avocado Man was founded. So you've got to, the reason New York is because it was not as religious a place as Boston or even Philadelphia. Do you know any sign language, Lewis? I know some street sign language. Mainly watch the birdie. Obviously, NSFW, not safe for... No, we got to be on our best behavior. We don't have to be on our best behavior, but we got to... I don't know any sign. I know a couple of bits of sign language. Now, that wasn't for you. The Americans call biscuits cookies, as the word is similar to the Dutch for cake. Yes. Yeah. Well, the National Biscuit Company was based in New York, but cookies, we call it cookies. Yeah. They don't call it biscuit. A biscuit is like a scone, is like a biscuit. I would love to walk in Central Park. Yeah, it's a really amazing place. Justin Poppet. York is an English name, not Dutch. Yes, that's a good point. Well, but remember, it's been owned by the English since 1860, since 1664. I think that's the year. 1664. Modern day capitalism is an Anglo-Dutch system. The Dutch had the first stock exchange. Yeah, and the Dutch were, were as rich as the English people, and then that all ended. That all ended. York was named after the Duke of York, brother of the King of England. That's true, avocado. That's really true. Was the south end of New York called New Holland? No. No, remember, it wasn't called New Holland. It was called New Amsterdam. I mean, the areas that have Holland, and lots of the areas, Utrecht, there's lots of Dutch areas. It was called New Amsterdam. Keith Bexley says, you're right. It used to be called New Amsterdam before it was called New York. I mean, the thing about New York, why is New York so amazing? It's an amazing port. That was the first thing. It's just an incredible deep water, unfrozen port. And the Hudson River led up all the way to Albany or more, and then they built the canal, which connected it to Buffalo, the Erie Canal. And then that connected to Lake Erie and Lake Ontario and the West. I'm trying to remember all my history myself. It's like it makes it seem like it was all there. The Duke of York. And then they took away all of Prince Andrew's stuff. All of his stuff. That's the feminization of this country. I'm against it. I support Prince Andrew, even though I don't like him at all. But I think that what they've done to him is horrific. I don't even want to think about it. We don't have to think about it. We don't have to think about it. Who is too rich and too think? I think, am I a libertarian? I'm a libertarian, but I mean, should we not let stores be open when they want to be open? Should we not let people work when they are offered work? No, whatever those two questions were. No, the flag of Hawaii has a Union Jack on it because of the British naval influence. That is true. That's also true, avocado. I saw that. That is true. Gnome Hunter says the last few minutes didn't even make sense. What didn't make sense? What didn't make sense? I am basically a libertarian. I don't believe in a big federal. I mean, we don't have a federal government here, but we have a big government and we have a big state. And people, I mean, obviously, the main people want to help as much as they can, and they want to help, and here in this country, all the taxes are collected by this by the government. Hawaii was owned by Britain. I just saw that. Here's the question. How did America take over Hawaii? What did Britain get from America to take over Hawaii? Britain is in a right state. Yeah, totally. The U.S. president visits the UK more than any other European country, which shows his influence. Well, he's got businesses here. He wants to see what's going on with his businesses. What's the only U.S. state that doesn't have a straight line as its border? Well, I mean, Hawaii doesn't have a border. It doesn't have a straight line. I don't know which trucker. Which state does not? Now I'll have to look that up. The Germans weren't quick enough, and the Brits didn't really care enough to seize it, so the U.S. moved in to keep Germany out of the Pacific. or at least the northern Pacific. Yeah, well, Germany was wanting to expand back in the day. They built their country late. France had been around for hundreds of years, and England too. But what country, what state? I'm gonna have to Google it. What state doesn't have a straight border? Hawaii. Hawaii. All the other states have at least one straight line. So I was right. I was right. I couldn't think of one. So I was right. I have to give myself credit. A round of applause to Lewis for that. I'm learning a lot here today. Thanks a lot, Claire. Sunday is a school day. Yeah, well, we're learning. We've got to learn from each other, to be smarter, to say this is something I heard. Where did I hear it? I don't remember. I don't remember where I heard it. Maltese Phil is the number one streamer today, so that is brilliant. Correct, Hawaii. Yeah. I mean, Alaska has a straight line. I could list every state. Washington State, Oregon, California, Arizona, Nevada, Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho. They all have straight lines. They all have straight lines. What is the biggest shire or county in England? Does anybody know that? What is the largest shire or county in the UK? Here it says it right there, North Yorkshire. Yorkshire, oh my God, it's like it's twice the size of Lincolnshire. Can you see that? That's a fantastic. Devon is huge. Norfolk, Cumberland, that's really amazing. So what is the smallest? Rutland, tiny, only 97,000 acres. Middlesex, does Middlesex still exist? Huntingtonshire, where is Huntington? Do they still exist? Huntingtonshire. And Monmouthshire is and all of these are like names. Westmoreland, where is Westmoreland? It's up there in Cumbria. This is something I should be studying. I mean, I've been pretty much in all of these areas, I guess. Yeah, I think I have. Gloucestershire, Staffordshire, County Durham. County Durham, there you go. Okay. A libertarian, a vegan, and a charity worker, according to Russ. Comes from Russ, it's true. Worker walk into a bar. How do you know which is which between a libertarian, a vegan, and a charity worker? How do you know which is which? Don't worry, they will tell you. Yeah, these are people with strong beliefs, I guess, especially vegans, because it's so horrible to be a vegan. You got to tell somebody, you got to get some joy out of it. North Yorkshire, what does it say about North Yorkshire? Remember, this is from a while ago. Monmouthshire was part of England at that time. List of counties by area. List of UK counties by area. today. Counties of England. Yorkshire, Inverness-shire. This looks like the Scottish ones are the biggest. Rutland. Rutland. I mean, some of the Scottish ones are very tiny. Monmouthshire is in Wales now. Used to be in England. Did you know that? I don't think I knew that. I didn't know that. Didn't we ask that about yesterday? Wasn't that raised yesterday? Lancaster used to be twice the size before the boundary changes in 1974. We need the original counties back. Yeah, well, how can they make changes in counties? And that's what when you think about what makes America America is the fact that each of these states is like an individual country, and you can't change. The federal government can't change a state. They can't say to New York, you're taking this bit, or you have got to give up this bit. They can't say it to any, and that's the difference here. Lancashire used to be twice the size, according to Trucker from Reno. Yeah, tiny Rutland. It's right there, it's right there, right by all the flat area and the flooding area, the erosion of English identity. Yeah, they don't want people to be English. They don't want to wave the English flag. That's considered illegal. They don't want us to be England. That's my philosophy, basically. Fight for England. Fight for England. Can you remember the spoof of the Ruddles? Yes, I can. Of course I can. Based on the Beatles. Just came. Yeah, Ruddles. Why was it called the Ruddles? That's a good question. Why the Ruddles? They were great songs, the Ruddle songs. They were very evocative of the Beatles. What year did it come out? Does anybody remember what year the Ruddles came out? Let me check that out myself. What year was I'm going to guess in the 80s, 85 or something? Ruddles. What year was the Ruddles album released? Exactly right. 1978. I was off by 7 years. That's really weird. All You Need Is Cash was released. The album was released. TV movie. 14 songs. It's the Ruddles. How well did it do? Eric Idle and Neil Innes. He's like famous. Did it have any hit songs? I don't think it did. $1978 already. That was 16 years. That was 16 years, the Ruddles. Eric Idle, yeah, Eric Idle. Record low temperatures causing snow and freezing all over the southern United States. Barney, Texas, getting a visit from ICE. Okay, that's a joke. Okay, good job. That's a good job. So that's it. So Sundays, we've decided we don't like Sundays. But we want there to be shops open. That's what we've decided. Play Pete and Dud's horse racing commentary. I think I've heard that. I've heard that years ago. Peter Cook and Dudley Moore. I've heard that. Yeah, that was quite. Let's see when that was from. I'm gonna guess that's from the 70s too. Peter Cook and Dudley Moore racing commentary. Derek and Clive, 1977, 76, 78. Already Dudley Moore was like a huge success at that time, and Peter Cook was a bit not quite as successful, maybe, but Dudley Moore, he was very well liked in America. Do you remember him? He married Tuesday Weld, though she was so pretty. Then he divorced her. He went to Oxford. Beyond the Fringe. That's how he became successful, Beyond the Fringe. And then they went to America. And President Kennedy went to see it. Remember when England was England back then? It's like a whole nother world. He died. What did he die of? He had to have a heart surgery and suffered 4 strokes. Oh my. What a horrible way to die. We shouldn't even think about it. But he was young. How old was he? I would say he was probably younger than my dad. I mean, my dad was born in 1925. He's 10 years younger than my dad. He was born in 1935. He died in Plainfield, New Jersey. He was 66. He was 2 years younger than me. That is, and he's buried in Jersey. How sad is that? To live your entire life and be buried in Jersey. And he had 2 children. Who were his children? He had a weird club foot situation. Do you know anything about that? Music. Let's see what it says about his foot. His foot responded well, but his left foot was permanently twisted. His left leg below the knee was withered. He remained self-conscious about that. Yeah. Well, that can make you feel subconscious. I knew somebody, I'm not going to mention a name, somebody who was born with that kind of foot situation. And they went to the doctor and they said, we have to wait for it to grow in before we do surgery. And the doctor said, no, all you've got to do is basically wrap the feet up in the proper direction and it'll be fine. And that's what happened. It's similar to what they do in China with feet wrapping and things like that. Moore was brought up on an estate in Dagenham in Essex. Well, he was 5'2" and had Oh my God. So he was, was so short. And women, generally speaking, don't like short men. So you gotta feel for him, really. And Peter Cook, I think, was quite tall. Let's find out how tall Peter Cook was. Do you mind if I find out? I know you're not watching any of these, but how tall, how tall, how tall was Peter Cook? 1.87. So what does that mean? That means like 6'2" or something. 6 foot, 6. I mean 6 point. What does that mean? 6.2, 6 feet 2 inches tall, maybe. Okay. He had a degenerative illness too. Yeah, he died. Something happened. What was he a big drinker? And he was like beloved from Arthur. They really liked him. And look at the films that Dudley Moore was in. Just the Dudley Moore uh films. Yes, let's look at the list. See if the list is there. Okay. He was in Foul Play. That was a big film. He was in 10. Do you remember in 10 where he was like in love with what's her name? Bo Derek was considered 10 was considered one of the year biggest box office hits. And then he was in Arthur, another big hit. A millionaire is on the brink of arranged marriage to a wealthy heiress, but ends up falling for a common working class girl. That's Arthur. Well, no, what was Arthur? A romantic comedy. It stars Dudley Moore as a drunken New York City millionaire who's on the brink of an arranged marriage to a wealthy heiress, but ends up with a common working class girl who later on steals all of his money. Mickey and Maude, The Best Defense, The Pickle, and then he died. And then he died. These are people who died. They were all my friends. Television. Oscar's Orchestra. That was like, I don't know what that was. He had his own show called Dudley for 6 episodes. He did something to do with really wild animals. Do you know anything about this? I don't know anything about this at all. His honors. He won a Golden Globe Award. And he's honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And Queen Elizabeth made him a commander in the Order of the British Empire, but he was dead by then, I think. He had some songs. Well, with Peter Cook and Dudley Moore. He died of pneumonia, they say. He had immobility called by PSP in Plainfield, New Jersey. Okay. I mean, these things never end well. It's really sad. He had progressive supranuclear palsy, a Parkinson plus syndrome. Some of the early symptoms appear similar to intoxication. He had been reported as being drunk. However, the illness has been diagnosed earlier than that. Moore made his first appearance since disclosing his illness, reading poetry alongside Julie Andrews at a benefit concert in Philadelphia. At first, Moore struggled, but soon settled in and began to joke and ad-lib. He then received a standing ovation for what was to be his last performance. That's like just really sad. That's like just really, really sad, basically. That's like really sad. Let's get back. Let's get back to this. Everybody, we've been here for an hour. Can we like the stream? Can we like it? Can we give a thumbs up? Can you subscribe? Basically, can we subscribe? Can we subscribe? But Vatanai is right. He had a degenerative disease. It was very sad because it stopped him playing the piano. He was an excellent jazz musician. That's true. I mean, remember, he's 5'1" tall, and women are so. I mean, they're probably not that cruel because at least he was. You know, I mean, the thing about women is they're not gonna. And men, you know, women want a good-looking guy who's taller than them. I mean, they might marry you if you're rich and famous, but they're not gonna love you. Like what happened to what's his name, Jeff Bezos' wife. You know, she was with him, but she didn't really like him. My mom totally loved him. Yeah, it was like really, really beloved. I met Peter Cook's wife, because she's the publisher of Private Eye magazine, which is maybe the largest publication in Britain. Private Eye. Did you know that? Private Eye, yeah. I did go to the same school as the Beastie Boys, or maybe one of them, but they were one or 2 years after me, so I never met them. Lots of famous people went to my little school. Cook had the comedy club. It was on Greek Street or Dean Street. Yes, the establishment club, and we did an establishment club night in the basement of the fish place. I forgot what that place is called, but Sunday, says Trucker, was the day you'd open a tin of fruit cocktail and put evaporated milk on it. That doesn't sound that bad. Evaporated milk. I don't think I've really eaten that much evaporated milk. We had sour cream. We had yogurt. Especially in the later days, mostly it was sour cream. It was sour cream. That's what we had. But it's tragic. Okay, everybody. Here's the thing. I think today's show was okay. I think it was okay. I don't think it was great. I think it was okay. I'm gonna go take a nap. I do not think we're gonna do a show later tonight. Okay? I don't think we're gonna do a show later tonight. I'm gonna take a day off from doing the nighttime stream. Do you mind? Are you gonna be mad at me? Are you gonna find something else to do? Okay? I don't think this show was that good. And I think if we keep going, it's not gonna be that great. I just don't have it today. You know, I'm a human being. I wish I was a better person. Some days, you know. I know I'm supposed to be always up, but I'm not always up. Okay? I'm not always up. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to say goodbye to everybody. We're going to say goodbye. and we'll see you tomorrow at 5. Is that okay? Will you be all right if we don't have a show tonight at uh, at 10:30? Will you be all right? Tomorrow we'll be there at 5:30. Actually, we'll be there at 5:30 because at 5 we're doing the whatchamacallit show. We're doing the Nunhead America Radio show with Chinese Elvis. Okay, so I hope you're going to be okay. It's a Sunday. It's a Sunday. I was not prepared enough for it, and I don't have the energy. She only married Bezos, so she didn't have have to pay postage on her orders. Yeah, possibly. You don't know what reason is. What reason is? Way to be lazy, Lewis, says Gnome. Okay? Today was nice and chill. It was a nice and chill day. Does anybody have anything that they want to add that they wrote down that they'd like to write down again that maybe I missed because I was interested in how large the counties are in this country or in Dudley Moore? You need Vaseline for a good mood. I don't know what that means, but I'm guessing it sounds dirty. Why so grumpy? I want to cheer you up. I'm not grumpy. I'm just tired, really. I'm just tired. I'm just tired. And you know what? You know what? I think maybe one day we'll take a day off from doing this on one day a week or something. Maybe. I don't know. We need to discuss it. We need to discuss it. We've done 158 shows or days because we've done 158, but some of the shows plus 32 shows at night. So that's 190. That's 190 shows. That's a lot of shows. But I want to thank you, Claire, for offering your support. I want to thank you, Girl from Mars, also. Fantastic. And Maltese Phil and Joe and MC Scott. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, Trucker from Reno. Thank you, Russ, 174. Okay. Thank you, Keith. Appreciate it a lot from Bexley. Keith from Bexley. Thank you. If I forget to read your name, we haven't had Joodles here. I don't know where Joodles was. We'll find out. Lucy. Where is Lucy? I don't know where Lucy is. Or Lorna. There's people that, normally come in but aren't here or used to come in but aren't here. Basically great. So you could do the stream a favor, which is to subscribe, to go to you see what this is here? This is Twitter, Lewis Schaffer on Twitter. Okay. We could do that. You could go to Discord. Kermit wasn't here today, so we missed Kermit. Maybe make a contribution at Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/Lewis Schaffer or patreon.com/Lewis Schaffer or paypal.me@Lewis Schaffer. There's lots of choices for things for you guys to do. We will see you later. We will see you later. So a big round of applause for you, for everyone here. Did you want to? I'm going to put you on hold. I'm not going to end the stream just yet. Thank you very much. Thank you for saying that, Russ. I'm going to put you on hold, and then I'll end the stream, and we'll see you tomorrow at 5:30 or 5 o'clock if you want to watch me and Chinese Elvis talk. Does that sound good? Vatanai, thank you, Vatanai. I don't think I mentioned your name. So, thank you, Vatanai. You know what I'd love? I'd love a pizza. I'd love a pizza, but maybe I'm not going to have a pizza. Are you ready? Let's wave goodbye. Wave goodbye, everybody.